So the first thing I'm gonna do is I have my Italiano on the go, and I'm first gonna just take some of the herbs out of the bag and just right into the pan. And I'm gonna let it dry heat for a moment. It won't burn. It's just the fragrance of the herbs, which are high in antioxidants. And here I have my asparagus. I'm just gonna put them in like this. So now I have the asparagus in here with my Italiano on the go, which is the basil and oregano, and just keep cooking it in the dry heat. Just for a moment, just to get that fragrance throughout the room, throughout the kitchen, throughout the house. It's delicious. And then I'm going to turn the water off from the broth that I prepared, which has the base, which is earthy on the go, the oregano, thyme, and rosemary. And I'm going to take some of it and just pour it right on top. Just need a little bit. No oil. How do you keep it from burning? Just a little bit of the vegetable broth, and you cook for as long as you want, and anytime you need a little more broth. And don't think I'm going to throw this broth out. I'm going to save this broth. I'm going to pour most of it, and then the potato and the carrot and the celery stick that are in the water, I'm going to merge. I'm going to blend it. And then I'm going to put it in another jar to have a thicker veggie broth. Nothing gets wasted. And whatever you do need, you put it on last. So now you're only getting a little bit of salt. It's sitting on top, so you really do taste it. And voila. I mean, this is the easiest possible soup that you can make. I love to use Desert Queen on the go. These are my spices. This is cumin and coriander, and that's how I make this Syrian red lentil soup, and it's so easy. Take my lentils, put them in here. I open my Desert Queen, and this is cumin and coriander. Cut up a couple cloves of garlic. That's it, just a couple cloves of garlic. Put it in. It's a cup of the red lentils. It's maybe 3 or 2 if you like garlic, a little more. If you're not crazy, a little less. 2-3 cloves of garlic, and my Desert Queen on the go, right in there. For a cup of red lentils, and they take a lot of water, I add about 4 to 5 cups of water. And then that's it. I put the cover on. You just add a little water and then you let it cook. And at the end, you're gonna put in some salt, a little pepper, and squeeze some lemon. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's so delicious. 3 ingredients: red lentils, garlic clove, and water. Okay, so I've soaked my beans, and I like kidney beans, so I buy them dry, very inexpensive, and I soak them in water overnight. And then the next day when I want to make the beans, I just take them and I drain them, put them in the sink. And I have to admit, earthy on the go is my favorite for this, but you could use any of the herb combinations and even spice. So I put the earthy on the go, the thyme, oregano, and rosemary, in the pan, in the pot once again, just like I did with the vegetables, and I let it dry heat. There's no need for oil. Onions are full of liquid, so they're very hydrating. Let it just saute a little bit, and now it's sauteing in the herbs, and it's so fragrant. It's just unbelievable. And then I'm going to show you a little trick that I haven't showed people before. So you're letting that saute for just a minute, letting the onions cook. With the rest of my herbs, the earthy on the go, I didn't use all of them to put in the pan. First, I'm going to put the beans in. So now once the onions become lucid, so I might want to leave them in there for just a few minutes more. The broth that I made earlier today, I can just again use, take some out, just to add a little sizzle. See, we always have our homemade broth now. And then I'm going to take the beans now that I drained. These are my hard beans that I soaked overnight. Put them in. turn that around a little bit. You could let that saute a little bit. I'm gonna add my veggie broth. I add the veggie broth. You just have to make sure that the beans are covered. Here's the trick. I didn't use all the herbs and I did not dry heat them. So I still have some in the bag. And what I do now, I take a little piece of onion in there. Very important. Just close the bag, throw it in, let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you turn it down and you keep it more on a simmer, but you let it boil a little bit, you check it for the water, and voila. So now I have my beans, my soup is cooking. With my Desert Queen on the go, that's the coriander and cumin, and I still have my potatoes. I don't even really have to mash them. Having used my Italiano on the go, which was my basil and my oregano, my potatoes have such a delicious flavor. And we're ready to make our plate. Sauteed it, and I have it right here. And here's our plate. You can salt it. A little pepper if you want. And then you can take even some of the juice, pour it on top as a nice little sauce. This is my Syrian red lentil soup. My lentils. This is one of my favorites. And that plate could be dinner, it could be lunch, it could be breakfast. Think outside the box. You are gonna get all of your protein. Most importantly, you're gonna get your fiber. Gourmet taste in a snap. Gwennie on the go.